is a lot of people are freaking out about this and this, that, and the other. And the funny thing is that every time the presidency changes, that law either is brought back, that executive order is either given to support or given to take away. So during the George Bush years, the worldwide abortion blah 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 was cut, and then when Obama got into office, it was put back in place. And now that Obama has gone out of office and Trump is in office, it's been banned again.
Can't they just change the fucking Constitution, just be done with it?
Well,
do
no,
something?
the problem is that regardless of which president signs the either the implementation or the retraction of that law, none of our funding is going to actually pay for abortion.
Right.
It's just to give good feelings to the base of whichever president's in office.
Because there's
so
no
it doesn't
homeless
do a whole
people.
lot.
Veterans are getting treated just outstandingly. There's no fucking problems in the world. You gotta worry about what goes on between a woman and her doctor. It fucking pisses me off. Stay the fuck out of my vagina. Stay out of my bedroom.
Wow. I live with you. I'm married to you, so I think I have the ability to
You're
kind
not
of...
the government. You can come in me.
I've been trying to...
Whoa.
Wow. Okay, well, we just escalated that really fast.
But no, seriously, I think that there's certain things, and I wish that there could be some sort of a way to where the government is... It's like it's off limits. You know what? What I do with my body is not your business. What a man does with his body, if he wants to get a vasectomy, are you all of a sudden going to scrutinize him because now he's not actually able to fertilize an egg? I mean, is that what's going to be next? Is that we're going to be going after men now?
Honestly, I think this conversation needs to be had if we can actually get some Planned Parenthood or NARAL people on the line with us so we can actually have that conversation in full.
That would actually be cool. I'm sorry, I tend to go off on tangents. I've been
really.
I'll shut up now.
We would have never guessed.
Huh?
We would have never guessed.
Yeah, how's that salad?
Tossed.
Hey, everybody. Doug is tossing his salad. So, Doug, one of the things that we've been looking at, and we're still trying to figure out, okay, as a veteran, you're very aware of the VA and all of that other stuff and how many problems they have and everything. Now, say 3 months ago, the then candidate Trump was talking about possibly putting Sarah Palin in charge of the VA. Now, luckily that has not happened yet because I really feel sorry for anybody that has to go to the VA under a VA director, Sarah Palin, because you're all going to die. But there hasn't been any real move at this point in time to do anything with the VA, although there has been talk about privatizing the VA. And as a veteran, that affects you in a great deal. Just like it affects my nephew, who is a wounded warrior Marine, my mom, who was an ex-military Navy, blah, blah, blah.
Chief Petty Officer.
Wow. Somebody knows all that shit. So, I mean, have you been watching to see how our new president is going to react and actually because he's been blocking and affecting federal agencies since he got into office. The EPA, the state park, the national parks. He banned the national parks from using Twitter.
Oh, and the TPP's a go. Fucking A.
Yeah, the TPP and the Dakota Pipeline. But when you talk about veterans, the people that we say, hey, we're going to send you off the war, and then when you get home, we're going to just ignore you. At least that's the way it seems to happen. Do you know, you yourself and other veterans that you may know, are you concerned with what's going to happen to your guys' support from our government?
In ways I am really concerned about that because if they privatize it, that means we got to have insurance to even go there, which is completely retarded. I mean, we've earned our rights to go to a medical care facility that we should be able to afford. And this is going to make it so we can't afford a medical care facility and to get the care we need. I know a number of veterans that go to the VA. They say that right now it's not up to par anyways. But when you privatize it, it's going to make it a hell of a lot worse, which in turn means with us, you know, we're walking in, we've got a cut that's, 8 inches long, and we've still got to wait 6 hours, and we're going to bleed out. It's the same kind of deal if we go to a hospital.
Well,
So,
honestly, my big concern is that they're going to try to voucher it, which means that you guys are that's just the most horrible thing that a country could do to its the people that have given everything to defend our nation. It's just horrible. That seems to be their game plan at this point. They want to voucher Medicare. They want to voucher the VA. They want to voucher, pretty much anything.
Well, yeah.
And I'm worried that we're going to start seeing even worse treatment of our veterans. The people that have given everything to support our country that have been actually just dumped off by their country, which pisses me off to no end. So
well,
go ahead.
Think back. Now, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago? Maybe a little longer. There was a listed scandal with the VA. I think it was 20 veterans died because they were waiting for care.
Yeah, there was a big push of that here in Phoenix, where the Phoenix VA hospital was actually, my nephew actually was trying to get care at the Phoenix VA hospital, and it was just horrible. Just trying to get in to see a doctor, not actually the treatment part of it, but just getting evaluated. And that scares me that we're going to start seeing worse than that.
All right. Even me at this case, I got to wait roughly a month to get in to see a doctor. So let's consider my mental health as it is right now. And it's well documented that I have psychological issues, such as depression. And there's not a day I can say that I wake up and I'm just ecstatic to be around. And yet, I got to wait a month to see a psychologist to talk to him. And now, I think I went to a psychologist through the VA for roughly 4 months. And in that 4 months, my psychologist changed 3 times. What kind of care is that?
That's not care at all.
That's outright fucking abandonment.
That's bullshit. Let's call it what it is.
That's some bullshit. Well, I know people that have mental health issues, and just when they're barely starting to get comfortable with their therapist, the therapist either quits or moves on, or for whatever reason doesn't want to see that patient anymore. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, okay, well, you guys are the fuckers that people are trying to rely on, and then you're just like, oh, I can't handle this anymore. I'm gonna jump ship. And it seriously is bullshit. But if Phoenix doesn't care about his veterans, what was that? Like a few years ago, they were lighting off the major fireworks display right next to the fucking Phoenix Veterans Hospital.
Uh-huh.
Like 2 years in a row. They're like, oh, they're not going to have any... PTSD. Oh, that's just a myth.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Was messed up. That was totally messed up.
It's just awful. People just don't get it. They don't care. They're probably like, oh, well, they're going off there to fight a war. Well, we kind of hope they die because we don't want to have to pay for their health care or try to put them back together again. And it's really sad. It really is.
But now, the one thing I've got an issue with is, now, it never took me long to get comfortable with somebody because I really don't give a shit. I just want somebody to be able to help me figure out why I have these problems in my head. I mean, I have no fucking clue why. I mean, I don't know if it's a good idea to be sitting here saying a lot of this shit, but
Well, do you
2 years
just
ago
wanna-
or 3 years ago,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was out hunting, and I think I had a 30-06 with me, and in that time that I was out in the stand one night, I couldn't tell you how many times I contemplated about pulling that trigger with the barrel in my mouth. And this is the type of treatment I should be getting. And I'm being stuck having people switch on me and quit and just say, hey, we can't tolerate this.
Yeah, it's
Now, how
definitely
is
not
that
right.
treatment?
It's totally disgraceful, and that's why I have such a major issue with. I don't want to just say the government like I'm pigeonholing the government, but realistically, I think it's kind of like, okay, there's no draft anymore. You guys signed up to be a part of the military. Now you're going to go off to a country that you really shouldn't even be in because we're trying to distract ourselves because we can't fix our own country. So let's go over here and fuck with this country. Oh, you know what? If you come back with some sort of psychological problems, you know, that's really sad. You know, we didn't force you to do this. And I think it's really, really fucking awful. I really think that for all intents and purposes, it's kind of frowned on that veterans actually come back alive. And I hate to be that morbid, but I think it's just easier to think they're going to go over there, they're going to basically try to solve our problem, but then they're not going to come back, so we're going to have our problem fixed, but then we don't have to deal with them when they come back and they're broken. And I have a major issue with that.
That's the only thing you have
Well,
to
that's how I know a number of people that have had these issues, and I've heard of I don't know how many veterans killing themselves. But as far as I understand, there's one veteran that kills himself every 2 minutes.
I think that stat's actually gone up, but even at what you just said, that is just beyond. Just
And it's not even just the ones that kill themselves. It's the ones that are sleeping in a gutter, and the ones that are sleeping next to a trash can, and the ones that can't find a job, and the ones that are so mentally tied to the trauma of what they've had to do that they can't get outside themselves without help. And we just let them do it. And that's just so sad that as a country, we put people in harm's way and then just ignore them when they come home. I hate it.
We worry more about the third world countries than we do our own.
got that right.
I think it's really fucked up that when it comes to it, with all this coming around, with the VA healthcare system and everything else, you go to privatize it, what's that going to do to it? It's going to make things so much worse. And the ones that are going to suffer are the ones like me that can't get the care in the first place. It's going to make it impossible for us to get that care.
But see, the people that are privatizing don't give a shit about the people like you. They give a shit about the bottom line and how much money or benefit they can get. And that's what's wrong with the political system. That's what's wrong with the fucking government. It's about their bottom line and not what's best for the people who are serving this country. And that is fucking wrong.
The one thing you got to remember, though, is that the politicians that actually have family in the military actually care